Hey everyone, welcome to another review. Tomorrow and on Saturday I'm away, so I'm doing this early. Things won't change that much over the next 2 days anyway, as to I'm about to say, and it will all depend on the JPOL speech for today. I mapped here all the important events in the next month or so, with JPOL speech tomorrow, and I think there's a release of the transcript ahead of time, meaning today, so the market might get a early reaction today. Then next week on Wednesday after the close, we have Nvidia earnings. On Friday we have jobs data with, I think on Wednesday we also have ADP. Then we have NFP unemployment on Friday, also PCE. So let's add PCE here. Not sure if it's on Friday, but around that time as well. Then in September on the night we have the BLS annual jobs revision. Then we have CPI on Wednesday, I think, either on Tuesday or Wednesday, doesn't really matter that much. Then the following Wednesday we have a FOMC and then OPEX on the 19th. So all of these are gonna change things a lot. As you can imagine, we can have some crazy swings. My take is that JPO is going to be bearish and that inflation is a much bigger concern than jobs at the moment, given the last PPI print as I explained in the weekend video. So I'm going to make that is my base case. So I am going to explain expectations around that. Also keep a separate outcome for the bullish case, let's say. Uh, so recap from yesterday, thought we would potentially go down to the 21 EMA, which is where these colors combine. Around here, we overshot a bit, but still recovered and went to 638-ish, a bit higher. And this is where we are now. I'm going to turn off the ribbon. Uh, and I think this could have been all the rebound. So in theory, we can go as high as hitting the AVU up here. So also accounting for time, like 640-ish towards the end of the day today, let's say. So something like this would be the bull case. Something like this around here and get rejected, but I don't think we'll even get to that. Most likely we dump directly when the JPOL speech is released, which is I think like 10 p.m. today, so a bit after the market opens. And the market is going to be taken by surprise by JPOL's bearishness, and its market is completely delusional now, pricing in an 81% chance of cuts for September. In my opinion, they should be at 50, considering what happened last week with the inflation prints. So this should be at 50. I think it will get repriced to 50 or something because there's still a lot of events until now and the actual FOMC on in September. So things can change. So it shouldn't be like zero, but this should be repriced at 50 for sure, and I think it will do so. And that will shake up things quite a bit. The market will not like it. Same thing for December and October. December is the more important one, and this should be like now it's two cuts priced in basically as the main thing, and it will reprice to 50% for a single cut, which in theory should come in December, not in September. So I think we get a repricing here, and the market will be taken by surprise. Yesterday's bounce was mostly caused by tech, like it was Palantir and Nvidia basically. Uh, Nvidia, like with this bounce here, and we go look at the daily, it's made a hammer candle with a bit of a retracement, and Palantir the same, like it went from -8 to nearly flat on the day. So these were the two events that saved yesterday, so to say, and it was expected because of weekly support. But I didn't really see evidence of, I don't know, sustained buying or anything. So this is Nvidia, as you can see, lots of calls here, but maybe there are earning bets. We shall see. Palantir lots of activity, QQQ lots of activity, but it's both puts and calls. So I still see activity that is consistent with market going lower and not market going higher, like accumulation for going higher. And it's still relatively muted, like aside from those names, which obviously move the market, uh, there was not anything interested in the regular looking market. Like you would think when the profile looks like this and is looked like this for Monday as well, for the previous day. So yesterday was first Wednesday, for Tuesday as well. If you look at 1 week performance, it looks like this. You would think that with a market with this much green in it, you will see significant call flow and mm, long-term buying and stuff like that, but that wasn't the case. It was more like tech selling, and this was just meh, nothing that interesting. Some buys here and there, some calls here and there, but nothing that interesting, like I said. So it did keep us from dropping more, but like I said, I wouldn't call it particularly bullish in what I saw. Uh, and this being said, the main path I think is still lower, but it's a question of how and when. I proposed this dome structure during the weekend video, and this could still be the case with like 650 as the top. Maybe JPOW caves to the pressure and says actually confirms the cut. If that is the case, the market would actually like it, and I think we would go towards 650, if not even hit it. But that would be like the top as well, and most likely we would swing depending on what happens with the jobs data and anything else like this. For example, if the jobs data comes in, let's say maybe Nvidia earnings takes us down, jobs market takes us up, something like this, but still like a dome structure that uh, eventually leads to a breakdown. Or the second option would be that we haven't, this is not the dome we're looking for, so to say. And the dome we're looking for is something like this one here, which we haven't actually tagged yet. So the actual dome might be something like this. And we go down to this quarter open 620 area between, so 615 to 620, let's say, and this would make us extremely oversold. This would be a drop from JPOUT, let's say, and we go here, and Nvidia earnings makes us jump up, and we go back to like 640, 650, and we do something like this, and again eventually we break down a bit later. More like this is more like a post OPEX drop into October or something like this. I don't really know, just scenarios. We shall see how it plays out, and as things plays out, it will give us more clarity about the setups. But for now, the main scenario is the drop from JPOW, and I think we will make new lows. Depending on what he actually says there, it might be just a retest of this. Like if we get this without an impulsive, like JPOW is supposed to nuke it. Uh, if JPOW doesn't nuke it, meaning it's a control drop, uh, then there is nothing really to worry about quite yet. So this can play out today, like I said, from the transcript of his speech, or it can play out tomorrow. Maybe we do this today, something like this. But if tomorrow, from the actual speech, we drop like this, and it's a control drop like 0.67, that's nothing. Like it's supposed to be a nuke, like -2 or more, when we actually get it and drop like a stone. So if this doesn't happen and we see like a bullish divergence forming here, meaning something like this, and this is like this on a low retest, even if we don't make new lows, like it doesn't have to be new lows, it just has to be like a low retest with a bullish divergence in which the this makes a higher low here, then I would suggest going long because it's unlikely that we will go higher. And we still have like the small dome structure with a base here. And we should be going back up towards the high with the potential of hitting 650 by the time Nvidia earnings comes back in. Like we saw the dip buying desire from yesterday, it was relatively muted, but if we go down again and the low area holds and we get this divergence here, expect a rip, and it will be like a short squeeze kind of thing because people will believe that the correction is over and they will FOMO back in, and this will cause like a squeeze, plus all the technical breakouts, like we recapture AVU up, so AVU up will do something like this, blah blah blah. We change color just to showcase it better. So AVU up will do something like this. We have the trend line here. So recapturing AVU up, breaking up to the trend line. It's momentum, chasing FOMO, blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. So it's quite plausible that if this plays out like this, we go back to 650 and the small dome kind of structure continues to be the scenario in which we look. But once we get to 650, again, still things start to look kind of nasty. We have to prepare for the job sprint here after the Nvidia earnings craziness, and then things will start to go down again, and we form this thing here, and eventually we break down. So yeah, this is kind of how I'm thinking about things. uh, like I said, we have to have like a vol expansion that sticks. Yesterday we had a vol expansion to like plus 8 10%, something like this, I don't remember exactly. But look, it faded again. We have to get a vol expansion that sticks. That means getting a move down that sticks as well and expands. So not it's not a slow move that barely gets us down like 0.5 at a time every day. That's not a vol expansion. That's a uh, I don't know, benign drop that it's aching to be squeezed up. So we need to see vol expansion. If JPAUS does drop us, it has to be like minus 2% plus, and it has to be like a full fucking drill, not just a slow drop. If it's a slow drop, most likely, and no vol expansion, most likely we will get the scenario in which we go down a bit, we test the low or go slightly lower, and then start squeezing higher and go to 650. So we have to watch and see what happens. Good luck with trying to play this tomorrow, and have a good one. Bye bye.